Three in a row, and it feels so good. Now, it's no secret that the Knicks have had an up and down start to the season, but now we are comfortably 2 games over 500 going into what's going to be an interesting road trip. But road trip be damned, because the Knicks right now are on a 3-game win streak, 2 games against Brooklyn. Love that.
Hater alert.
And last night versus the Washington Wizards. Argue that they're games that we should have won. That's fine. But the point of the matter is the Knicks took advantage of games that should have been won. Not like last Wednesday against Chicago.
I'm still mad about that.
And hold on to a 3-game win streak going to Phoenix, where things are going to start to get spicy. But right now, things are at a very good spot for the Knicks. We're seeing in real time the team figure each other out. Chemistry is being built. That being said, are you guys ready to stop hating on our captain, Jalen Brunson? Because Jalen Brunson is listening and he's doing everything that you would want him to do at this point of the season. The other thing that needs to be talked about is the battle of who the Knicks fans want and who Tom Thibodeau wants. I'm talking about our backup big man. We're gonna talk about all those things and more in this video, so buckle up. Let's have some fun. Your Knicks won another one. Feels so good. Run the intro. What's good, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video, people. I'm trying to finally get up to 30K, so if you haven't already, please subscribe, please.
All right, stop begging.
3 games in a row, 2 against Brooklyn, where the Knicks handled business. Of course, the referees interjected themselves in a lot of weird instances in those 2 games, but for the most part, the Knicks did what they're supposed to do. They learned from their mistakes on Friday, and they handled business on Sunday. And then last night, absolute butt whooping against the Washington Wizards. It's nice to have the Knicks do what we ask for them to do. Win by a good margin against a team that you should win by a good margin against. I don't feel like that's an unfair ask. The Knicks did exactly what they were supposed to do, so much so where Tom Thibodeau was upset about losing a 30-something point lead with the bench out there and brings the starters. It just was nice to see the Knicks win a game by a lot like they should, and we looked a lot better against Washington. And you know, the big factor to what's been going on in the last few games has been the chemistry that has been building with our starting 5, from KARL Anthony-TOWNS to Jalen Brunson to start off with. I mean, we already saw sneak peeks of the pick and roll game that we were going to be hoping to see a lot of this season in the preseason, but now in regular season, not only are we seeing the pick and roll game between just the 2 of them, we're seeing KARL Anthony-TOWNS turning into a willing passer. I mean, we're seeing him doing these phenomenal passes. His vision has been great, so much so where he was asked about the inspiration of the passing, and he told us the 2 guys that he studied so well.
Talk about a little bit about passing. Who were kind of your influences for passing big men?
I mean, you know, I wear 32. I grew up being a big Magic Johnson fan, so just watching the way he made his teammates better, and also I was blessed when, you know, young in my career to actually meet and get to talk to Arvidas Sabonis over in Venezuela. So
for him to say those are guys he's been looking at, I think those are great people that you should be molding that side of your game around. And we're not just talking about KARL Anthony-TOWNS' passing abilities, Jalen Brunson as well. Jalen Brunson coming off of a double-double against the Washington Wizards, and he's had 2 other double-doubles so far this season. And I want to talk about this because it's been crazy. I've seen so many complaints about Jalen Brunson at this part of the season. It just seems like Jalen Brunson has just been getting killed for, well, being Jalen Brunson. People want him to shoot less and pass more. They're saying he needs to be a true point guard and be a true captain. And what are we talking about? Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is a guy that, if need be, he will be the one to carry us to victory at the end of a game. We've seen that in multiple occasions. Yes, I would love to have Jalen Brunson trust his teammates more and pass the ball, and well, he's doing just that. Jalen Brunson is averaging the most assists in the entirety of his career. He's already off to a great start on assist numbers for his game alone, more than he has at any other point of his career so far this season, averaging 6.8, which is the most he's had, and he's doing that while also averaging the least amount of turnovers in his career. Again, I can't make this stuff up. So Jalen Brunson right now, it just feels like Knicks fans needed somebody to point the finger at, and for whatever reason, El Capitan Jalen Brunson has been the guy that has gotten a lot of ridicule from Knicks fans, and I don't feel like it's been rightfully so. Yeah, Jalen Brunson is only averaging about 24 points when last year he was around the 27, 26 range for the majority of the year, but his field goal percentage is still about the same. Yeah, down the stretch he's missed some gimme shots here and there, but it is the beginning of the season. I feel like this has been something that he's done in the past. I feel like Jalen Brunson has started off seasons quote unquote slow before, but for whatever reason it's probably just amplified so much more because now there is no Randall and Jalen Brunson is the guy, and we brought in KARL Anthony-TOWNS, so there's people feeling like KARL Anthony-TOWNS should be the whatever.
Do you think he could, with this team, I mean, you said needs, do you think with this team and he has a skill set to be like the high assist guy?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you got Kel shooting a high percentage from three. Cat obviously shooting a huge percentage. OG shooting the lights out. Got guys that are high IQ guys that know when to cut and get easy ones. So the opportunity is there. With that said, we want him to be aggressive and have a score first mentality. And when he does that, you know, everything else will kind of take care of itself.
The point of the matter is right now the New York Knicks are slowly starting to gel with one another as the season goes on. Yeah, Brunson's still here, Hart's still here, OG is back in the mix, but you just made two major changes for two major pieces on this team in Mikal Bridges and KARL Anthony-TOWNS. That's gonna take some learning, and don't forget we're missing bench pieces that were a part of our run from last year in Precious Achiuwa, and who knows if Mitch Robinson is gonna be starting or coming off the bench. Those are two key guys towards our defense and towards our energy that are not in the rotation right now. So a lot of people I feel like have been very impatient with the New York Knicks thus far, and I get it. You know, you want things to be good right away, but the team is showing right now that they're figuring it all out as the games go on. But let me know, are you one of the many that has been very critical of Jalen Brunson, and if so, why? And how do you feel about the KARL Anthony-TOWNS Jalen Brunson debate? Who's the number one? To me, the team is playing great. Everyone is playing where they're supposed to be, and I still feel like there's a lot of room for improvement for everybody. We know about Mikal Bridges' improvement needs. The three-point ball not falling mid-range is perfection, but we need the three ball to fall more consistently from Mikal. Would love to see Jalen Brunson continue to make those gimmies at the high rate that he has in the past. It's gonna take time, guys. The season just started. We have 82 games in the season. We just barely got to 8 and 6 for the season. Patience. Let me know your thoughts about how the team's chemistry is coming together. Are people overreacting? Are you overreacting? Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments below. But let's talk about the bench. We talked about the starters. Let's talk a little bit about the bench as Tom Thibodeau is trying to figure out the bench. Now, I am with you guys. I am one of you where I am a fan of playing more than just 7 to 6 players in a game in November. I would love to see Tom Thibodeau open up the bench a lot more. Obviously, yes, stagger them with starters. I like when Josh Hart plays with the bench. I like when Mikal plays with the bench. I feel like there are minutes to be had with starters and bench coinciding. And I think Tom Thibodeau, more so in the Brooklyn games, is starting to figure that out. But there's also the thing that Tom Thibodeau talks about a lot that I tend to agree with him on. There's that greenness with a lot of our bench now. We got rid of a lot of key players on this team that played in that second unit, and now we have 3 rookies that are competing to get minutes right now. Tom Thibodeau not typically known to play rookies, especially since none of the 3 of them are first-round picks. So it makes sense why Tom Thibodeau is trying to figure out that in-between and where he can get those guys out there, but also get them more accustomed to what NBA life is like when it comes to winning these games and playing for a team that's trying to win it all. That being said, I love the move for Tom Thibodeau to get Pacome Daddier in the rotation. I mean, we were just trying to find who that 4th or 3rd guy off the bench is going to be, who is ultimately going to go to. He tried Matt Ryan for a few games. Matt Ryan's shot was not falling, and his defense was a little suspect, so he gave the opportunity to Pacome, and he did a good job on that Friday showing against the Brooklyn Nets defensively. And speaking of defense standing out, we talk about Huck, so much so that we were out here voting for nicknames. I am personally incredible Huck stan, but the point of the matter is the fact that he has so many impressive moments as a defensive piece for this second unit. And not only that, he looks to shoot and looks to attack the basket. He's building a fan base with myself included, but the problem is the guy in front of him Jericho Sims has the most important fan base of them all. That is Tom Thibodeau. Jericho Sims, from the beginning of the season, hell, from preseason, has been given that role as the backup big to KARL Anthony-TOWNS. And like the Jalen Brunson hate, a lot of Knicks fans have been grilling Jericho Sims for any little thing that he does or, well, doesn't do. Myself included in some instances, but I don't feel like I've been as crazy as a lot of you guys. Yeah, Jericho has been having his moments, but for the most part, Jericho Sims, he brings that factor of offensive rebounding that we don't get from anywhere else, and we lost from Isaiah Hartenstein. And now if he's looking to be a little bit more aggressive at hanging out around the rim to get easy dump passes or alley-oop passes, Jericho Sims could have that ability to shoot those. But for the most part, Jericho Sims defensively, as well as on the boards, at least as far as tip outs and being able to be aggressive and be active rebounding, he's been pretty solid. And, you know, Tom Thibodeau does have that point. But rewind to Friday's game against the Nets, where Hukporti played, and he looked crazy amount of blocks, a lot of good defensive moments, really decisive in his decision on offense, which just made a lot of fans. And while Knicks fans are going insane, Tom Thibodeau still wants to see more, and he's still going to go ultimately with Jericho Sims, because he said this.
The fourth quarter is different. The intensity is different in the fourth quarter. So we have to, and our young guys have to go through it first. You know, I think the more they go through it, the better they're going to understand that intensity.
And he wasn't wrong. After playing 30 minutes in that game against Brooklyn, he saw no minutes in the Sunday game against Brooklyn. And then he saw very few minutes in Washington, where he was quickly brought back onto the bench when he had a few flubs in the game. Tom Thibodeau quickly brought him back out. So the Hukporti experience is gonna have to take a back seat, because Jericho Sims is Tom Thibodeau's guy, and I would love to hear what the chat has to say about it. I don't know. To me, it's a never-ending battle, but we know that this is just being held off until Precious Achiuwa comes back, who is going to come back into the rotation and ultimately get that spot. There still might be some minutes for Jericho Sims down the line, or Hukporti, whoever it is, but I think Hukporti has himself a great opportunity. But, you know, Tom Thibodeau brings up a good point. You know what you're going to get out of Jericho Sims, even if he has those few moments that a lot of Knicks fans don't really like. You know that you're going to get aggression offensively, and your best option rebounding wise from Jericho Sims, and Tom Thibodeau is just going to rock with that. But people, we're on a good run right now. We have a tough road trip coming up, starting up with the Phoenix Suns on Wednesday. It's going to be a tough defensive effort with the guys like Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, but we have the manpower to do it, and I think we can have ourselves a good game on Wednesday. But let me know your thoughts about everything mentioned in the video, or what was not mentioned in the video that you would like to have a conversation about, because I love talking to you guys in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video. People, we're trying to get to 30,000, so I need you to subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video, or I will see you tomorrow on Knicks Fan TV for another play-by-play, Knicks versus Suns. Appreciate y'all so much. Let's get it. Man, New York Knicks basketball, baby. We are back, and we're starting to figure it out. Let's get it, y'all. I'm out of here.